Hello beautifuls! This year for Halloween I'm creating a few different makeup looks. This one is the Greek Goddess. To start off, apply foundation, primers, setting powders, whatever it is you use to get your skin ready to go. Next I'm going to use the darker shade from the Body Shop's Brow Palette. With my brows I'm trying to make them slightly darker than usual and a bit more dramatic. So go ahead and fill in your brows. Next I'm going to use a light concealer as my base for highlighting. I'm applying this down my nose, along the top of my cheekbones, and on my cupid's bow. I'm going to use my fingers to blend it out, but feel free to use a brush. For my eyes, I'm beginning with this gorgeous golden shade from Maybelline's Colour Tattoo collection in Bold Gold. I'm applying that all over my lid, then blending it out with a large fluffy brush. Next, I'm going to take two shades from BYS's Metallics palette. First, I'm applying the lighter golden shade on the inner third of my eyelid. When I'm happy with the tone that I've created, I'm blending it out with a large blending brush. I apologise for how sad the palette looks, as it's a rather well-travelled palette. On the outer 2/3 of my lids, I'm applying the darker shade, then once again blending it out. Make sure the two shades are blended together carefully to create a beautiful natural transition between them. Just above my crease as a transition shade, I'm applying this orange shade from Chi Chi's Bases palette. If you do have the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, I would recommend using Real Gar. Then I'm just going to buff it out. Because there's a lot of golden glittery shades in this look, I would recommend using a fan brush or a large powder brush to remove any fallout. To my crease, I'm now applying some of the darkest shade to create some definition. Then I'm blending it out with an e.l.f. blending brush. Next, I'm going to take the lightest shade in the palette again and blend it out through my inner corner. I have packed that on because we want it to be super light and sparkly. I'm also applying it down my nose and on my cupid's bow. Remember, it is a Halloween look, so it can be a little bit more obvious and dramatic with your highlighting. To create more definition, I'm using the Maybelline Master Sculpt palette in Light. As you can see, I've used this palette quite a few times before. Work that fish face and apply the contour shade just below your cheekbones. I'm applying it using a Real Technique sculpting brush. Then turn it over to buff it out. As I'm a bit of a pale cookie, I'm using the Dream Sun bronzing powder from Maybelline to give my skin a more golden appearance. I'm applying it further out on the edges of my forehead and only a small amount at the top. Buff it out once you've reached a tone that suits your complexion and you're happy with. Next, I'm using the golden shade at the top of the Metallics palette and applying it to my cheeks using a Real Technique setting brush. I'm aware it does look a bit like an orange stripe on my cheeks at the moment, but just wait. I'm also taking the lightest shade again from the palette across my cheekbone, along my temple, and just above the outer edge of my brows. I'm applying it on top of and blending it into the orange shade. On top of these shades, I'm also using one of my holy grail products. It's a Napoleon Purchase bronzer with some stunning bronzing and highlighting shades marbled together. I'm applying this to my cheeks, down my nose, on my cupid's bow, and on my forehead. To create more definition, I'm using the second darkest shade from the Metallics palette. I wouldn't usually use my fingers, however, because the shade is so small in comparison to the brush, it makes it a lot easier to initially apply. Once I've applied it with my fingers, I'm buffing it out with a sculpting brush. Now, if you're not happy with how it's turned out, there's always the good old powder and powder brush to fix it. To highlight even more, I'm taking the highlight shade from the Maybelline Master Sculpt palette and applying it to my cheekbones. Taking it above my brows and on my brow bones. Use a fluffy brush, unlike my really bad habit. For my lips, I'm using this fabulous metallic rose gold shade from Colourpop in Maneater. You'll have to excuse the light reflecting up from my mirror. I'm also applying this dusty rose shade from Chi Chi's Bases palette to the center of my lips. I'm carefully patting it out and slowly blending it out towards the edges. To finish off my eyes, I'm taking the orange shade again from the Chi Chi's Bases palette below my lashes to create a continuation of colour. To create a look of thicker, darker lashes, I'm also applying a pencil liner to my tight line. This black liner is Rimmel's Scandaleyes Waterproof Liner in black. To finish off my lashes, I'm using L'Oreal's Miss Mega Volume Mascara. Thanks for watching, beautifuls. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!